Hello and welcome back to this new video. Today I have another collection of fights I had over the last weeks, and this time it is balanced fights in EVE Online, which basically means I wouldn't call it fair because fair fights in EVE are not really something that exists, but balanced as in T1 frigates versus T1 frigates and Navy frigates versus Navy frigates. So no punching up or punching down, just balanced fights on one level. I will fly different ships, and before the fight starts I always will explain the fit in a few phrases so you know what I'm flying and what the enemy is flying, and yeah. I'd say we get right into the fights. Enjoy! First fight, I am sitting on the gate and this Merlin decides to attack me. I immediately click approach and put all my DPS, web, everything on him, and I start killing him. He does a lot of damage to me, but the Blaster Punisher that I'm flying has more damage, definitely, because it has more damage than almost any T1 frigate, with 340 DPS on heat. I'm going low on armor, but he's almost out of shields, and now he's in armor, and 2 more shots and he's dead. Close fight, but really nice GF. See all the crazy lag I had there for a second. I'll loot the rack and see 15 million, which was great. But I didn't realize what I actually had killed until I checked the kill mail. This was 140 million Merlin. Quite crazy. This next fight was the shortest fight I've ever had. It is again the Blaster Punisher versus a Rifter. And you see, he gets 1 rep cycle off, and boom, he's dead. And I wanted to include the fight because it's so funny how quick he died. But then a few days after, I got my actual quickest fight, and here it is, Merlin VS Executioner. He slides in, and I start shooting. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 volleys, and he's dead. GF, mate. Took exactly 7 seconds to kill him, poor guy. But yeah, this next fight, I am flying Comet that is specifically designed to counter Hookbills and rail comets, because there are so many Hookbills and rail comets around that I wanted to have something to counter them. So it is dual rep with an overdrive, and it can almost every Hookbill. I got lots of fights in this Comet, but I only included 1 because they always are pretty much the same. I approach, keep at range 500, put huge damage on them, and they die. And most people actually don't notice that I don't have a scram fitted, so only very rarely people actually warp away. But you see, like, he barely scratched my hull, and all my buffer is basically in hull. And a few more volleys, and boom, he's already dead. I'm still pretty comfortable tanking, and thanks to kill me, he even had a medium Caldari Navy medium shoot extender. GF, mate. This next fight is again in the same Comet, to show how it works against a rail Comet. Again, same strategy, slide in, and of course rail Comets and Hookbills will be at range from the beacon. So it is good to have the overdrive and the heated AB, because you see I'm going 1.5 kilometers per second before he webs me, and I can catch up to him rather quickly. I am still missing my shots because he's a good pilot and he managed to still keep his range for a bit, but now I'm close and I start putting a lot of damage on him. I'm also orbiting him in this fight, so his railguns miss me. And you see he's barely doing any damage to me. It's basically just the drones hitting me, and he's already going into hull. Still heating the weapons and the Ansel, and I remember to turn auto reload off. He's dropping into half hull. He's still not hitting, and now he even kept himself out by running his Ansel too much. You saw he lost scram, so I could have warped off, but he dies. GF, mate. It's the kill, mate. Sadly, the kill mill is messed up and JJ is still on there even though he didn't help. Comet was full health when I came in, but yeah. This next fight is super interesting because it is again the same Comet, and this time against the Blast Comet. And the problem is, because I have one low slot used for an overdrive, I will always be in the disadvantage regarding DPS against another Blast Comet. So in this fight I thought, what do you have that makes you better than the other Comet in this fight? And the only thing I have is speed, so I have to use my speed to do something. I went in with Null into the fight and forced him into the reload, and now that I see that he is reloaded, I switch my ammo to Void and approach to him because I know I have full range control on him and I can decide on what range to fight. So now that he's with Null, I can go in with Void, and he either has to reload again or stick with Null for the rest of the fight, which would be good for me, of course. But you see, I'm currently losing the DPS race. I'm in low hull already, and he is already almost only in half hull, so this is really exciting. I don't have Ensign charges left, and I heat my Nosferatu to get a bit more extra cap. And with 8% hull, I managed to get out the win. It was so freaking close. Really, really good fight. Okay, this next fight, I am flying an Incursus, and not the dual wrap one, but a single wrap one, because then I have a web and a bit more range control. I immediately switch my ammo from Void to Null, because I thought he would pull range from me. He actually stays quite close. He's trying to pull range, but the heated AB allowed me to stay close from the beginning. Still, it was good I reloaded to Null, because you see, now he's pulling range from me. So without Null, I would have had problems to apply at that range. I'm running my Ansel, and I am barely tanking. And now sadly he burned out his webs and his grams, so it's pretty much one from now. I put my cube at range to 5 kilometers to make sure I have good tracking with Null. So it would be embarrassing if I would now outtrack myself and then still die. But he's already in hull, and I just click approach, and he dies. GF, bye bye Kestrel. Getting the pod and the loot, and there's the kill map for you. In this next fight, I am flying my dual web armor breacher, and I am fighting this Atron. When I slid in, he was quite far away, but now he's slowly approaching, and I am approaching him as well. Now I can put the webs and the weapons on him, and the big mistake I made here was that I forgot my drones, which is super important in the breacher. Without drones you lose like 30 to 40 DPS, which is a lot. And now he's playing quite well, and he's getting out of my missile range. And I also see that he is still applying quite well to me, so I know he has Null loaded. So I decide to go in closer to make sure I apply with my missiles. Now I also remembered the drones, and I put drones and missiles, everything on him, while slowly gaining on him. And now my missiles start hitting him again. And immediately you see he's dropping towards hull. He is still wrapping a lot though, and I am also getting into his optimal range now, and you see he's doing a lot more damage. I'm manually piloting a bit to avoid some of his damage, which works. And now I offline my armor plate. This gives me a few more meters per second speed, and like that I can survive with 25% health left. Super close fight again. GF mate. Calling drones, scooping the loot, and the kill map. This next fight I sadly started the recording a bit late, but I am flying my Slasher, and I am fighting this Incursus. I am orbiting him 500, which allows my autocannons to still hit him, and my nuke has full effect at this range. But now you see his second Incursus friend landed, so now I'm just keeping him at range to apply full damage to him and hope to kill him before his friend kills me. I stop heating the nude to keep heating the weapons, and he's going towards hull. He's still nuded out, and only the second Incursus is doing damage to me, and now I start shooting the second Incursus. At this point I should have pulled range and warped off, but I decided to stick around and see if I could kill the second Incursus. I again offline my shield extender to reduce my signature radius, and this gives me a few more seconds survival time, but eventually his drones finish me off. GF, mate. Great 2v1. Next fight, this is again against Grey Veil, and this time he is flying a Rifter. I have web and scram preheated, because he is kite fit. Usually when I'm not sure if someone is kite fit or not, I preheat my web and scram anyway, just in case they are kite fit, I don't miss them when they slide in. So like this I can tackle him and get into orbit 500, and you see immediately his artillery starts missing me. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I'm flying the Condor, the rocket Condor with the nude. And yeah, he's going to armor, and now he's dying even quicker. I already said GF because there's not much he can do. And now I just click approach so I don't lose Gram last second or something. And he dies. GF, mate. I skip the loot. Ask for the pod. And there is the Comet. Next fight, I am flying a Tristan and this Breacher is coming into me. We arranged this fight, and it is quite an interesting and close fight. My drones immediately go and attack the NPC, so I have to recall them and lose a few seconds of damage on him. But I still do damage with my blasters, and he's already going towards armor. But of course it's a Breacher and he has an ancillary shield booster, as well as an ancillary armor wrapper. I start wrapping, but he does a lot of damage to me. And I'm slowly going towards Hull, while he is still comfortably tanking. I'm overheating my Nosferatu to get a bit more extra cap. And now he's out of Ancil charges in the shield Ancil. And he also is out of cap. So he wraps still a few more times in armor, but then he dies. And I get the kill. GF, bye bye Breacher. Great fight. Skip the loot. And there's the kill man. This next fight is again the nude Condor against a Rifter. Here we are landing both at the beacon at the same time. And I start orbiting him at 500. I want to nuke him out, and if I orbit him, I hope that his autocannons will miss me a bit. Gets a few good hits in, but as soon as I'm in orbit, you see autocannon misses you. Grazing shots, hits, misses. Like that I can avoid some damage. And he's already in armor, so he has to activate his armor repairer, which is of course great for me, because if he activates the wrapper, I can nuke him out quicker. Now you see he's already nuked out. I can turn off the heat on the weapons. I keep the nuke heated for a few more cycles just to make sure. Now I turn that off as well so I don't burn out. Same with the AB. But the problem is the Rifter can still shoot when it's nuked out because autocannons don't need cap. But his tank is so small now without wrapper that I can punch through him and get the kill. GF, mate. There's the kill, mate. And that small abyssal ancil was actually really good. I checked. It is not good on reload time, but it is very good on activation cost, so I got quite lucky that I managed to nuke him out, because his wrapper needs almost no cap to run. This fight is against a Condor, and I am in an anti-kite Merlin. I expected him to be kite fit, but he actually got me with my own trick. He is a nude tracking disruptor Condor. I see the nude and web and scram, so I immediately start double clicking in space to optimize my tracking. And you see, it works quite well. I get a few more blaster volleys in, and before he manages to nuke me, he's dead. GF, mate. Full DPS fit. If he had a bit more tank, he probably could have killed me, but like that, with no tank at all, he died. Okay, that's all the fights I have for you today. And yeah, I really enjoyed getting all these fights, and I will be back soon with more organized videos about one ship or the other, but the Warzone is quite unorganized at the moment, so it is not always easy to find files, so I'm working a bit through my stock footage. But soon I will have well, I have lots of plans for the future to make more videos. And yeah, as always, if you have ideas or questions, please put it in the comments. And see you next time. Bye bye.